Hello everyone and welcome back to another Minecraft tutorial. Yesterday we got the first snapshot for Minecraft 1.9 and in it there was a new type of plant found in the end dimension known as the chorus plant. In this video I'll show you how to construct these farms, but first of all we are going to go to the end dimension and observe the plant in its natural habitat. The chorus plant can be found here in the outer region of the ends, and the plant will grow in any dimension as long as it's planted on end stone. Breaking the chorus plant block will break all blocks above it, and the stems of the chorus plant will drop chorus fruit. This fruit can be eaten without affecting hunger and will teleport the player to a random location without them taking any damage. The fruit can also be put into a furnace and turned into popped chorus fruit, which can be crafted into purpur blocks. When the flower part of the plant is harvested directly by hand, it will drop a flower with a different texture. This could be considered a seed, and when planted will grow into a new chorus plant. So we are now presented with two needs when farming the chorus plant. One for the fruit, which can be used to make purpur blocks, and the other for seeds to grow the plant all over again. So let's start with the simpler of the two, farming for seeds. So the problem with the plant should be fairly obvious. The way in which it grows makes it awkward to harvest the seeds from. So by placing some blocks above where we put the seed on the ground, we can actually manipulate the growth of the plant so that it only grows into a small space. Now this actually hasn't finished growing. If we were to break the block above it, it would still be able to grow. As you can see here, the seed block is yet to mature into that type up there. But the cool thing is that when we break it in this state, it still drops a chorus flower, which means we can start the process over again. We also get a tiny amount of fruit from this sort of farming as well. So when we place that one back down, this time we got 3 seeds in total, which is pretty good. The average seems to be between 2 and 3. Sometimes it grows into just the 1, and on very rare occasions it will also grow into all 4 spots. On this side over here we have another design which uses more blocks per plant, and the idea here was that the more space it had to grow, the more seeds it could yield. Unfortunately, it seems to be pretty much the same as this design over here. So the differences are that it uses more blocks, you can get these matured seeds, and you do get a little bit more of the stem plant growing, which means it's slower to grow, but you also get a little bit more fruit from it. But that's not what we're using this farm for. This one is for gathering seeds, so if it wasn't obvious how to use this, you'd set up a field of these things like so, and then you'd be able to go through and harvest the seeds, and you'd end up getting more of them than you plant down. Now let's look at the fruit farming designs. Any attempts to control the shape of the plant usually results in less growth and less chorus fruit, so letting the plant grow freely is the best way to get decent yields. For this reason, the farms are big and open and revolve around how we collect the fruit. So I've come up with 2 designs that are fairly straightforward. Design number 1 is definitely the cheapest of the 2. The idea here is that we use water to collect all of the items, and we've also got a little bit of redstone, which isn't technically necessary. If you've got yourself a pair of depth strider boots, or you don't mind wading through the water, you're going to have to go back to the middle to plant down the plant anyway. So you can hop in here, you can break the plant, and then the water's going to make sure that it all goes to the middle, where this block right here is magically picking up the items and putting them into a hopper down below. So if we replant the tree, it's going to slowly grow, and while it's doing that I'll show you how the next bit works. So with a little bit of redstone under here, we've actually got a dispenser over there which is going to place a water bucket which can break the plant and then remove it again, and there you can see the water is restored, so it pushes all of the items back to the center. So inside that block we actually have a minecart hopper, and that's going to pick up all of the items and put them down into this hopper, and you can see here it collects all of the chorus fruit. The second farm design we have uses the familiar concept of running the minecart hopper back and forth underneath the blocks to collect any of the items that land on top of it. Now in this snapshot there are some issues with the minecart hoppers. They're not behaving the way that they should be, and by the time 1.9 comes out it's quite likely these bugs will get fixed. But for example, the minecart hoppers can get stuck in the track, and even if you try and push it as the player, it's like there's an invisible wall stopping you from doing so. And as well as that, some of the minecart hoppers also disappear. You can see the third track here doesn't have one, and it literally did a moment ago before I started recording. But anyway, the concept here is once again really straightforward. You're just going to go in and break all of the plants, and they're going to drop loads of chorus fruit down below, and then the minecart hoppers are going to go and pick most of those up, with the exception of the ones that aren't working in 1.9. So then you can put down your seeds again, and these plants can regrow, and obviously they're not going to regrow as fast as we do in this demonstration, which is why we need a farm set up. So then the minecart hoppers are going to deliver all of the drops down to the end here, and this collection system will put them into this chest. As far as the tutorial goes, there's no need for a block by block recreation. All of this should be fairly straightforward, and of course you can pause the video to take a look at what you see here and rebuild it. The key thing to know here is that the water travels 8 blocks, so this right here is 9 blocks away from where the end stone is. Now as for the redstone, it's fairly straightforward. Underneath your platform you want to have this little setup right here. So these repeaters are on 2 ticks, the one on the left is on 4. If we go round down here, you can see this block right here has a sticky piston facing upwards underneath it, and then the redstone over on this side points into a redstone torch which powers the dispenser. Now as for powering this thing, all you need to do is get a signal to this piece of redstone right here. I've just chosen to use a sticky piston and redstone block. So when we hit this and we power it, it's going to power the dispenser and then power it again, so you get a short pulse of water. Now as for putting the minecart hopper inside of the end stone block, what you want to do is have your hopper, this will obviously point into a chest or something, put a block on top of it, then put down a rail with your minecart hopper on top of it, then break that block and then put an end stone directly above it, and then also a sticky piston facing downwards. So when you power the sticky piston, it's going to push the end stone block into the minecart hopper, and now this thing is set up and ready to go. And once again for the second farm, it's pretty straightforward. You're just rebuilding what you see right here. So let's go over the finer details. We have powered rails that are all powered from one side all the way over to the other, with the exception of this one right here, which needs to be a normal rail. And then what you want to do is build this little design right here. So you can see we've got a comparator, we've got a repeater there, which is on the default setting, a torch at the back, and then you've got your hopper, your chest, and then the hopper at the bottom is actually a chain leading it all the way over to this chest on this side. And this is a tileable design, so for every row that you have, you just repeat what you got right here. So that pretty much concludes our tutorial video. Be sure to let me know what you thought of it with a comment down below, and if you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like. That support is always appreciated. There is a world download available for you in the description box, and if you want more Minecraft 1.9 content, then subscribe for more. But that's it from me in this video, so as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye bye. You can power this sticky piston, and then the end stone is inside the block. Oh, looks like we're doing all of that again.